There's a lot of horror manga out there, subgenres upon subgenres catering to every specific taste imaginable. Not all of it's great, but each manga that gets made is a little miracle in itself. The work that goes into the creation of an ink and paper production is mind-blowing, and we should appreciate every ounce of it that makes it to our hungry, horrible eyes. However, some stand out above the rest and deserve additional praise heaped and piled upon them, in the vague hopes that the mangaka can keep on making it forever, or somebody with latent talent might see it and become inspired. How else are we gonna have new and incredible horror manga beamed directly into our corneas for the rest of the time? Hello horror heads, and welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host, Keegan Hughes, and today we are counting down a new edition of our Top 5 Scariest Horror Manga You Have to Read, Part 3. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more maniacal manga. Outstanding. Let's begin. Crawling its way in at number 5, we have Gyo. I thought I would mix it up a little this time, place Junji Ito a little lower on the list than usual. He's not taking the number 1 spot today. Honestly, we could make like 10 more episodes of this series and still find that Ito makes the grade every time. It's crazy how many iconic and genuinely chilling stories he's put out over the years. So what is Gyo? Well, the full title is actually Fish, Ghastly Squirming, and that's enough to hook me, to be honest. You get it? Hook? Gyo is a horror about a couple's fight for survival amidst a horde of undead fish with metal legs. And the fish are just the beginning, as we learn while the story progresses. The fish seem to be powered by a death stench, which isn't just what emanated from the communal dorm bathroom at school. Death stench is a sort of gas full of ancient bacteria that provides power to the metal legs, keeping the fish upright. The smelly abominations take to the streets of Tokyo and prove to be extremely destructive. They're full of complex spikes and tubes and latch onto whatever they can while trampling others underfoot, if you can even call their metallic spiky legs feet. Soon it's discovered that the legs were originally a machine that the military was working on with the purpose of spreading a virus to enemies. However, the boat full of prototypes was sunk and the machinery co-opted some fish bodies and found its way to land. Things go from bad to worse when the gas starts showing signs of sentience and takes over distorted human bodies. A suffocating stench overtaking the world, walking machines crushing and stealing bodies, our own biology attacking us. Not a great scenario. The stench and death can be compared to so many man-made weapons like sarin gas and anthrax. We made these things and now we have to watch as our society crumbles beneath them. Add in Ito's incredible art and pacing and you've got a wicked horror manga. Coming in at number 4, Biomeat Nectar. Doesn't that title just sound delicious? Created by Yuki Fujisawa, this is the tale of humans being displaced from the top of the food chain. We're so used to being top dog, any story where that's challenged becomes scary. Apex predators on the hunt for a human? No thank you. In a Day of the Trifid style turn of fate, a carnivorous biological experiment escapes from the lab and starts plowing through people like hotcakes. Faced with a major food crisis, a company developed what is known as biomeat, a biological entity that eats anything but glass and metal. When it eats, more food is produced too, which is lovely for everyone involved. Until it escapes. Then it's very bad for everyone involved. The stuff spreads like wildfire and it's up to all sorts of folks to figure out exactly what the hell to do in order to survive. Our protagonist figures out how to fight against it and the manga becomes sort of shonen-ish at points. But don't worry, because it's still plenty full of gnarly people eating. Most of the time the people being chewed upon don't even notice until it's too late. They just see the weird little grubbin munchin and are sort of confused. Wrong reaction. Lots of blood, lots of gore, lots of weird scientific conundrums. Give it a read if that sounds like your jam. Coming in number 3, Ibitsu. Anything Lolita related tends to be scary, at least to me personally. I don't need Chris Hansen telling me to take a seat anytime soon. To make things even scarier though, this young girl in a lolly costume hangs out in the trash, waiting to claim an older boy as her big brother. It's based on an urban legend where a young girl will ask a boy if he would have a little sister. If he answers no, she kills him. Yes, and she kills his little sister, taking her place. And if you're a smarty pants and keep quiet, nothing happens. But our main character Kazuki does not keep quiet. unfortunate. We open on this scenario unfolding, and soon enough the demon Lolita is forcing her way into Kazuki's life day after day. She breaks into his house to watch him sleep, she tracks garbage and goo around, and attacks his friends and family. Sounds like she's totally weird and evil, but there's also bits of goodness. She appears to truly want to be a good little sister, even if her view of this is warped and wrong. Is she a purely malevolent force, or a victim of circumstances warped by events beyond her control? The moral gray area makes the terrible acts she commits even worse, as it has you holding out hope for the little bit of human left within. The art is quite good too, with shapes becoming more distorted and creepy whenever the Lolita's around. If you're willing to look past the demon lolly, there is a very creepy and effective horror manga waiting out there for you. Coming at number 2, Gantz. Oh, this one's famous. And famously gory, sexual, and over the top too. In this futuristic horror by Hiroya Oku, we follow some recently deceased people as they are made to play a game involving hunting down and killing aliens. To help them with this task, high-tech weapons are provided to everyone. Skin-tight bodysuits too, for definitely not lewd purposes. Gantz is known for its heavy violence and sexual themes, with plenty of nudity, ridiculous bloodshed, and gore all throughout. While it is highly disturbing, it also has some sly commentary about the morality of violence, with a fair deal of quality character development and high stakes from the start. The story stays pretty consistently engaging throughout, although there are some low points. But there is one thing that is always on point: the monsters. Think Resident Evil mixed with The Thing, with plenty of Japanese demons to boot. They're all brutally cool, with plenty of potential for insane, flesh-rending fights. My favorites are the ones that are basically amalgamations of human parts. Body horror with a slash of, oh my god, they took that person's friend and perverted their body. Plus there's flesh demons with skull heads, dinosaurs, and more. Nothing is sacred in the world of Gantz. Anything pure and beautiful will likely be ruined. Innocents will be made to suffer before being eviscerated. Corpses will be piled upon corpses, and organs will be mixed up with other organs. It's brutal, it's wicked, it's something else entirely. And finally at number 1, PTSD Radio. Another repeat author from another episode. Remember Fuon no Tane by Masaki Nakayama? Well, Nakayama is back with another anthology of bite-sized horror manga. I go crazy for this stuff. I love how compact and creepy it can be. It's all the scares of other horror manga without the potential for the story going on too long and bogging the whole thing down. This is AERN, BBC PTSD Radio. No tuning necessary. Throughout all the short stories presented here, we meet a whole bunch of recurring characters. Sometimes we meet them as they die and get filled in on what kind of person they were later. Like in Fuon no Tane, there is plenty of horror happening during regular day-to-day activities. It makes mundane things super creepy, whether that's getting groceries or walking past a monument. Also, hair takes center stage here, so if you don't like hair, then this will make you want to jump out of your skin and never put it back on. Not everything makes sense either, adding to that sort of hazy dread that hovers over every story. Sometimes it feels a little fever dreamy, sometimes a little Twin Peaky, sometimes a bit Jeff Vandermeer-y, and the art drives it all home. Everything is rendered in a hyper-realistic style with crazy detailed pieces. Close-ups of warped faces with gross proportions really add to the terror, and Nakayama really shows off their ability to make the human body terrifying. Even the environments are fantastic and detailed, which makes it even scarier when something appears where it shouldn't be. If you're looking for some very modern, very scary, very easily consumable horror manga, look no further. This has been PTSD Radio. We're signing off. Damn, I just realized I should have included Boruto on this list. Well, next time. What do you think of my selections? Which have you read? Which are you going to read? Any suggestions for the next list? Make sure to let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your finer ones from Top 5 Forgotten Horror Movie Monsters. Part 2. Zane Smogley says, the thing that makes a monster is fear. The more you fear, the more it becomes real. The more real it becomes, the more it can hurt you. So what you're saying is the more I talk about these, the more people will inevitably be eaten by them? Wicked. Gonzi1122 says, I see Pumpkinhead, I click. A commenter of taste. Pele Sweden says, man, I'm feeling old. Great movie is already old and forgotten. Well, we live in a fast-paced, info-centric society, man. You gotta keep showing kids the good stuff or it'll get replaced in a heartbeat. Adam Guar says, I cannot pay attention due to your hoodie, dude. The missing eye drives me nuts. It's not missing, it's just temporarily hidden from view by the strings. And Forewarned76 asks, what do Triffids, the Wicked Witch, and the aliens from Signs all have in common? I think they were all played by Margaret Hamilton at some point, right? That's all the time we have for today. Before I drink 10 Red Bulls, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more right to left lunacy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.